I feel absolutely dead right now. Like, I feel like I should be Jack Skellington. Like, I went to bed at a reasonable time this time, which is good because, you know, I need to actually get my schedule back for when I start working. Yes, I will be working soon. I used to work at a retirement home, and that wasn't the best job I've had. Like, even though it was my first job, I technically didn't like it, but then again, I did enjoy it. Now, at this retirement home, I was a server, if you couldn't tell by the hints of how I just said you'll get your food. But I used to be a server there, and I'm not gonna say I was the best server, but in this specific room, I felt as if I was A1, no steak sauce. So this retirement home had two different rooms that the servers were serving. You would have the Chesapeake room and you would have the Governor's Inn. The Chesapeake room was like the buffet room, so basically, you know, the residents would get up and they would go and get their own food and their own desserts. The only thing that we as the servers would do is take their dirty dishes off the table, take them in the back, and get their drinks, you know, or anything just in case if they need like sauce or, you know, anything else like that, because some of it wouldn't be out on display. Well, I'm always in the Chesapeake room, and usually what they think is that people who go in the Chesapeake room are usually for people that are kind of slow. I don't like slow in the Governor's Inn, because the Governor's Inn requires time. Like, you need to be on time with the food. There's a time set that you have to get the food out, to get the drinks out, to put the food in order. Whew. So like, I'm not gonna say I was slow, but then again, I couldn't comprehend on the time, because like residents would, you know, complain, and the next thing I would end up having another table. So then I'm over here like, yo, can somebody help me out? Somebody would end up helping me out, but then again, I still have to get to that little table, and I'm still like, please, like, please, Jesus, take the wheel. So with me over here struggling, and mind you, it gets hot in the back in the kitchen. Like, it gets hot because of the food and everything, you know, being cooked. And then you also have like the dishwasher and all that with the steam, so it gets hot back there. And while you're waiting, it's got a long wait because the food still has to be done. Just like if there was a steak or like beef ribeye or something like that, because, you know, people like their food certain temperatures when it comes to that, like, you know, well done, medium well, yada yada yada. That man just pumped 45 in my head, man. How, Sway? How? I'm pretty sure I aimed all on him. Trust me, I know I did. You see that little red dot right there? That little dot? Oh, wait, is that orange? Am I colorblind? Then you got people in here coming to Cupid Shuffle. What is going on? So throughout the night, you know, in the Chesapeake room, which is the room I would be in most of the time, we literally would just get the drinks and everything, and it would be like one big happy palooza once it hits 7:45, because then we close at 8. Okay, on Sundays, both rooms get served. Like, the Chesapeake room doesn't just become just only drinks. The Chesapeake room becomes the same thing as the Governor's Inn. We take their full order. It's just the fact that they want to sit. Some residents like to sit in the Chesapeake room and, you know, not sit in the Governor's Inn for some odd reason. I don't know why, because they're getting the same treatment and the same food, but I guess they just like the environment of the Chesapeake room. I don't know. So she gives me her whole order, you know, like the beef ribeye, blah 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 blah, and a side of eggs. Now let me tell you, everybody knows that once you ask for eggs, the eggs are gonna come on the plate unless you go to a different restaurant. But eggs are gonna come on the same plate as your food. I bring out her food and everybody else's, and I hand her her plate and put it down, and she says that she doesn't want the egg like that. I'm like, what are you talking about? You don't want the eggs like that? I mean, I didn't, you know, say it to her like that, because I would lost my job within that spot right there. But like, you know, so for me not to lose my job, I have to go back in the kitchen and fix it. Now the eggs were like the small bowl, glass bowls that you would put like your normal other things there, like a side of asparagus or string beans. So now those eggs are on the floor, and they were some good eggs. But they're on the floor sitting there, and I'm like, I have to go get somebody to pick this up. I come into work on that Monday, and the manager comes and talks to me and says she had a complaint about spilled eggs from 6 people, because that is how many people I had to serve. A party of 6. Why did all 6 have to complain when the eggs were only to 1 person? Do you not get it? Uno, not 6. So she's over here talking to me like, so we got a complaint from 6 people over spilled eggs on the floor, and that you didn't pick it up. You waited about, like, I don't know, 10 minutes, maybe 20 minutes to pick the eggs up. So with that being said, we're gonna have to write you up because you didn't want to pick the eggs up. Excuse me, bitch? Motherfucker, I picked those eggs up. Why you ain't picked the eggs up? Where were you at when the eggs spilled? You should have picked the eggs up. So I'm going through the whole rest of the day, or the night, trying to cooperate and contemplate on how I'm getting written up from 6 people when 1 person had the fucking eggs. Makes no sense. That doesn't add up. What happens if I end up getting a job somewhere at like another restaurant or some local fast food place, and I'm over here handing the bag and I'm over just giving them some fucking barbecue sauce? You gonna write me up because I dropped the sauce on the street? What you gonna make me do? Lick the sauce? That's what I'm gonna do? Hell no. Hell no. To the no, no, no. Hell to the no. If anybody ever gets a job, or if you get your first job, then I advise you not to become a server, especially at a retirement home. I sure hope that none of these managers or any of the workers that are finding this video, because if they do, I am completely fucked.